Hi, this is Kira, and welcome again. The last time we met, I believe we looked at the case of Ngozi. That's the 12-year-old girl who resides with her parents. Her parents are Alice, who's 26-year-old street trader, and her father is Emeka, a 48-year-old alcoholic laborer. So, they just got notice from the landlord. They haven't paid rent for 6 months now, and they're about to be thrown out of their apartment. Also, Emeka hits and beats the wife, Alice, regularly, and sometimes he also would use a belt or hit his daughter, Ngozi. And you can see marks and welts all over the young girl's body. So, I want to look at what are some of the issues that this situation has brought up, and how we might be able to, give some options of how they may be resolved or how the situation may be alleviated. So, Ngozi, like we said, is a 12-year-old girl. That means she's a minor. Now, the definition of a minor is somebody who is under the age of 18, at least in most countries. Somebody under the age of 18 is a minor, and being a minor, that child is either in charge, is either in the care of her parents. Her parents are in charge of her um, until she's over 18 years old. If her parents are not in charge of her, then she may actually be a ward of the state, or somebody might have a guardianship for her, for example. But in this situation, Ngozi resides with her parents, and her parents are Alice and Emeka. Now, let's look at the age gap between mom and dad. Mom is Alice, she's 26, and dad is Emeka, 48. So that's 22 years age gap between the parents. As we go along, this might be relevant, but we just need to look at the situation and bear in mind that the daughter is 12, the parents are 26, mom, and 48, dad. So that's 22 years gap. They all reside in a one-bedroom apartment in a rundown shack in a neighborhood that isn't very good, and rent has been due for the last 6 months. Landlord is about to throw them out. So they also have some financial issues in this family. Now, Ngozi is only 12. I don't believe she has any siblings. The scenario does not give us any siblings, so let's assume she's an only child and the parents are struggling financially to ensure that she has her basic needs. Ngozi also does not eat in the morning when she's going to school. So let's look at, are there any sort of abuse situations that might occur in this scenario that we have given? So what is abuse exactly, and what sort of abuse might we be able to pull out in this scenario? And so let's start with physical abuse. Now, the facts tell us that Emeka dad hits and beats his wife, Alice, regularly. So we know there's physical abuse. That's when there's contact, physical contact. Dad might punch her or he might hit her, and that's a form of abuse. So we know that definitely Emeka is abusing Alice, and that is not acceptable. We also know that Emeka depends on alcohol. He's an alcoholic, and so that might actually have a bearing on his behavior within the family. Also, the facts tell us that Emeka hits the daughter, Ngozi, also. Now, remember, Ngozi is 12, Emeka is 48. Emeka is dad. And we were told in the facts that Ngozi has welts and bruises on her body. So dad is physically abusing Ngozi also, and this is not acceptable. We do not encourage using physical abuse to correct children or to correct anybody. Nobody should be violent. That's a form of violence, and that would not be tolerated. So we need to address that issue. Emeka needs to learn of alternative ways to address situations, and he should not be hitting anybody. He's not. It's not the proper thing to do. You shouldn't be hitting people. So that's another thing that needs to be addressed. Now, we are told in the facts that Emeka is an alcoholic. Would we recommend for him, for example, to attend alcohol classes where he would be counseled, and he'll be tutored as to the detriments of alcohol, especially in a situation where we know that it's affecting his family. So I would advise that Emeka would attend substance abuse classes or alcohol dependent classes. And he should also try and abstain from alcohol. We can tell from the facts. It says that he's a very angry person in the home. We can tell maybe he's frustrated. He's a laborer. He's struggling. He's always angry. So we have to, talk to him and see if there are other issues or other things that may be bothering him. Now, Alice, on the other hand, is a street hawker, like a street trader. She sells food in the traffic for people who are in their vehicles or people who are riding or going to work. So Alice, I'm assuming maybe she doesn't have a high level of education. She's only 26, so she may want to look at going back to school, maybe to get a GED or to get, a trade skill, so that she's able to better contribute to her family's financial means. So those are just some of the issues I think we should deal with. And it's always advisable that children must have breakfast. Breakfast is very important. I mean, can you imagine going to school every day without eating breakfast? How would the child, Ngozi, a 12-year-old, be able to concentrate properly in school without having eaten breakfast at home in the morning? And it says that she doesn't even eat breakfast to school every morning. So how can this situation be addressed? Well, maybe social services. If we have social services available, the family might be entitled to some help to get some, referral social services that may be able to help the family. Additionally, maybe the religious affiliation might have ways that they help people, to give them some food basket. And then also, maybe family members. We don't know if they have any family members around. Maybe they might be able to help also to provide some food. At least Ngozi should have food going to school every morning. And then I'm not sure whether Alice and Emeka have inquired with the school. They might actually give breakfast to kids who are registered to eat breakfast in school in the mornings for a little token. Or sometimes they do it for kids who might not be able to afford to pay the token. So they need to inquire further with the school and find out if the school serves breakfast to kids in the morning. So I think these are just some of the few points we've looked at today. Tomorrow, or when we meet next, we would look at what are the consequences of domestic violence. In this situation, we actually see that there's some form of violence. Now, are there any legal repercussions or legal consequences that may be taken in a situation where there's domestic violence in the household? Or what are the other implications? Not just legal, we can look at the social implications, and then we'd also look at the situation in which Emeka is hitting Alice and Ngozi, and what would be the better way to serve him? Do you think he should be incarcerated for domestic violence, or do you think a non-custodial sentence might be more suitable for him? So these are some of the other questions we would explore when we meet again. Thank you. See you later.